We're going to kick off with a very familiar story, maybe all too familiar. You can see Angela Rayner here wearing what would you call it, a beautiful pea green trouser suit. I mean, there are other ways of describing it, I'm sure. She declares £3,500 worth of clothing donated by Labour peer Lord Alli, asking you, sir, what you think about that. We've heard this story now for what feels like many, many months.
It is. Here we go again. Of course, the big controversy over clothes for Rayner, for Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, and particularly the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, including these glasses. But Lord Alli had given these clothes, but had been registered in the past as a donation in kind. And she's taken advice and she's got to declare it as clothes. But that's a lot of money on clothes. And I know, if I could mansplain, there's particular pressure on women in public life to look good, and in a way, if you don't, we can just wear the same old clobber all the time and no one comments, but women get a lot of pressure.
And we usually do.
Yeah, we usually do. Well, yeah.
We can be, frivolous about this. We can make jokes about the trouser suit. We can do whatever we want, except that this has hit very badly home, hasn't it, among members of the public of all different political persuasions.
Yeah. Why don't
it's not simply, Tory voters who haven't liked this. Labour voters have been affronted.
Why don't you buy your own clothes?
Quite.
I mean, that's quite.
And what's the answer to that question?
I think it's because if somebody came along and said to you, "Would you like a free suit, sir?" Would you say no? You'd probably say yes, particularly if it's Lord Alli, who's worth about 200 million quid, Labour business person, peer. They know, and he's friendly, and he's got loads of
And obviously
cash.
you know what I'm going to say, and so does everybody else. Lord Alli did end up with a key to Downing Street, which is not a key that's given out to many people, Charlie. And so therefore the look
for a brief
of this,
time, he had a pass.
The look of this didn't appeal to people very much.
Totally right. And what's puzzling for me about this particular story is it comes out a day after the budget, when, people are being hit in their pockets, with tax rises and all the rest of it. And then Angela decides to register it, or it comes out in the Register of Interest. She could have got this story out when it was big news under Sir Keir Starmer. You could have taken out all the trash at the same time. Yes. But she's decided, a bit like the Ibiza story, or the council flat, or her old home that she sort of was accused of not paying capital gains tax or stamp duty or whatever it was. But that rumbled on and on and on. It allowed the public to have this view about Angela that she wasn't doing something right. And now this story's come out just to drag out this. I don't know why she just didn't get it out in time.
I think the way
when it's big news.
in Parliament, you can look at it online. There's a register of interest for all MPs. You've got to declare gifts over certain limits. And I think once you've declared it and then you take fresh advice and you say, I want to change it, it takes a while for them to do it. They have a period when they publish it. Bad timing for her.
Tell me about the relationship, if indeed there is one at all, between doing something like removing winter fuel allowance from pensioners who, some of them will be fine and won't need it, and some of them are desperately worried by it. We know, because we hear from them on this programme, the Jeremy Vine programme, all the time. People are really frightened and too scared to turn the heating on. And then £3,500 worth of free clothes. The money is kind of in a different stratosphere, isn't it? From people who are thinking about an extra. We talked about earlier this week on this programme, the bus bus fare cap, going from £2 to £3. People might have to pay an extra £10 a week if they're going there and back every day to somewhere. And they're worried sick about the tenner. This is £3,500 of free clothes. So it's as if the Labour Party grandees are on a different planet from ordinary people, isn't it?
And actually, because the winter fuel allowance, which I think it was callous and cruel to take it away, it's up to 300 quid. I suppose she's got, 11 and a bit winter fuel allowances in terms of free clothes. I think that's why people kicked back over the free clothes and the tickets and the visits, Taylor Swift or whatever it was, because at the same time, it looks like you're living the high life while you're making life harder for people who... You can lose your winter fuel allowance if you're on like 220 quid a week, which is not a king or queen's fortune. So I think, the combination of the two, taking away the winter fuel allowance and at the same time being revealed, you've been getting all these clothes and gifts, terrible luck.
So, Kevin, all these years of knocking the Tories, now you have your dream government in place and you're having to somehow shoulder the burden of this, which is so unsavoury, and you can't do anything but say so.
Vanessa, it's not left-wing, radical and bold enough to be my dream government. I'll just correct you on that. Okay. But no, it's no. But they spoiled it for themselves at the beginning. I think it was those two events. One is the winter fuel allowance taken away, which I think is crazy, and the other is it just being revealed that actually some of the senior figures have been doing rather well, and then they get the accusation. Look, Angela Rayner, as you know, came up from the school of hard knocks. Left school at 16, no exams, baby on the way. Mother who, mental health problems, bought dog food thinking it was meat for the kids to eat. All that story. And she's a brilliant success story, how she's clawed her way forward. But people will still say, have you forgotten where you've come from? I don't think she has, but if the winter fuel allowance, which I don't think she would have taken away, if that's gone, it does look really bad when you've got lots of nice free.
Let's move on.